Well, this is my first time recording myself on Zoom. I hope I can save it and share it with a few friends. I'm going to go live Zoom pretty soon. Anyway, I'm going to switch to the overhead camera. Today, I want to video how to do a border. Actually, I should just go to the overhead camera and you can see this a lot better. And I'll explain what I'm doing. I'm learning how to maneuver around. So it's taking a little while. Let me see. There we go. Go to the webcam. And I think that's pretty good view. Oh, it's a mirror image. I need to learn how to stop that. Hold on a second. It's on mirror image. I don't want to mirror it. Okay, there we go. So let me shut this off before I start. Okay, that's correct. I guess you have to pick and choose. Ken showed me earlier how to get my image. I said my hair's parted on the wrong side when it was looking at me. So what I have done is this is painted. I did this part with the banding wheel. This is fired. I did do some touch up shading, so I'm gonna have to remind myself not to touch this area. I am gonna take base for gold and non-ping. You can use either or. I prefer both of them together. Sometimes if I don't have base for gold, I'm taking non-ping and some white. It gives me a slightly opaque look. I'm going to mix it with my armadillo oil. I will show you the consistency and how to apply it. If you use non-ping, sometimes it comes out very transparent, and that's okay. It accepts like a luster, which is the plan. I want to put a mother of pearl over the textured border. Base goes a little bit more opaque, so it's kind of a preference. Either way, I want this to come out like a white textured border. It doesn't matter that these all look busy. It is just a resist. It is vinyl. It's peel and stick. I make my own vinyls so I can control the size. There are other vinyls that are laser cut stickers, and these are wonderful if you can find the subject you want. But I have other applications that I'm not able to use the negative space. It's very difficult in this, so that's why I started creating. But I could interchange some of these designs, and they have different subjects. But I have incorporated some of the laser cut with my vinyl. Not a problem. It is just a resist. Also, with this formula that I'm going to mix up, if you wanted to put it on, sponge it, dry it, and remove the stickers or vinyl designs, whatever you want to call them, you could scratch, just do a scratch method. It works beautiful. But to me, it's not precise. And if you mess up, it's kind of hard to fix. I have done some vinyl designs and added like some little, extended the design, and that's an option too. But we're going to just make this really simple. Peel, stick, cover it, and that's it. I'm going to show you another plate. So you're like, okay, how do I put those designs on there? Well, I don't want you to sit there and watch me do peel and stick for the entire um, process. So I have another plate that I started. This was a very narrow border. My plans on this particular plate is going to be something in the center will be later on painted with wine, cheese, maybe a bottle and a glass, something like this. I wish I would have done this plate. I think it's a, well, I don't even want to guess how big it is. It's not very big, as you can see. It was just an experiment. I wanted to see if I could do reflective glass and highlights, and I'm so excited to do a bigger platter. And we do wine and cheese some nights, and that's nice for, and maybe some fruit. So this is going to be a nice little individual plate. I want something a little bit bigger. So let's get back to the edge here. I hope I have my tweezers handy. I try to get everything very, very organized so I wouldn't make y'all wait. So as you can see, these are some of the vinyl designs or stickers. The laser ones are pretty stiff, so you can pretty much use your fingernails if you have fingernails. This requires a little bit more finesse because, well, it's just better with a pointed tweezer. Okay, I'm gonna try not to mess my design up. I apologize. Everything kind of zoomed in here, so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing. I don't like it when I can't see what's going on, so I want you to get as close as possible. So I have a little pair of pointed tweezers. My longer pointed tweezers are missing in action right now. I have a lot of stuff back and forth between here and Texas. So basically, I need something small to fit here. And it can get a little tedious with a narrow border like that, but most of my designs are on a bigger border or on a part of a plate. I'm just gonna really honestly just peel and stick. That's it. And if I don't like where something's at or something's placed, I like I have a couple solid things here. I kind of like to mix up a solid and an open design, but you get the gist of it. When I have more time and I'm not videoing, I think about it. When you're fresher in the morning, also visually, this helps you teach you positive and negative space too. So anyway, that's what I did. Sometimes the peel and stick goes fast. I think it's very therapeutic myself. Um, but that's it. Just peel and stick. Again, it doesn't matter that these are all different colors. It's just a resist. It's a vinyl. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm actually going to mix up a little bit of the base for gold and non-ping and show you the consistency. I'll probably do about half and half. I was supposed to do that plate for just a couple friends, but I can't get together for a couple days, and I really want to get that in the kiln. My husband changed out the card. He is going to do a welding project, and my kiln was malfunctioning. I said, okay, I don't know what you did to it, but it's stopping heating at about 700 degrees. And I said, we can't have that. I've got stuff to fire. I know this is hard to see. I have turned off some of the glare. There we go. There we go. I could put a little food coloring in there to show y'all. If I was doing this process, you don't have to do a white border. You can do dry any kind of dry paint with my armadillo oil. I prefer for this particular project, I want a white textured border, and then we'll go over it with mother of pearl. I'll just say that for the dry part. And for the sake of time, I may not have mixed up enough for the entire border. It does take quite a bit. Okay, I know that's a lot of glare. Let me see if I can turn off one of these lights. No, that's not helping. I see myself in the monitor. I will show y'all the consistency. I don't want to turn off another light, then you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Lighting was, I learned that I can only use part of my lights in my studio because if I turn the overhead one on, it is super glary and then it just obliterates. all my color and all my painting. You can't even see what's going on. I can't wait to start teaching for real on Zoom. That'll be exciting. It's going to be really different, but with this COVID stuff, we may all be teaching remotely. Again, I hope not. I miss going and meeting new people. Painting, teaching, it was just a memory. It's been so long, it's been over a year. So I'm really hoping to get back to it. Okay, I would like it a little, it's kind of runny here. Let me see. I think I want a little bit more. The paint when I'm doing banding or with this, it's quite a bit like pen work, only a little bit thicker, but not much. I want it to literally run off my knife. I'm not worried about it running because the armadillo oil dries. And I may do this, and I think I'm gonna do this in 2 parts. That way you don't have to sit there and watch me dry it and remove the vinyl designs. But I did want a little bit longer video. It's so hard to get everything done in 2 minutes to upload on Facebook. I'm not quite ready to go live. You never know what's going to happen in the background. Somebody's going to walk in or ring the doorbell, which is not that busy these days. Okay, I'm going to put that off the side and see if I can get, I know it's white on white. When I start putting it over the vinyl, I think you'll see it better. I did another video and I made the mistake of putting white vinyl stickers, white on white. Not good. My lighting at my camp's good. And I hear my husband banging around. He does not know I'm videoing right now. I'm really quiet when he's in his Zoom classes. I'll have to remind him that. But then again, I didn't give him heads up. He's really good. If I would have warned him. So I like to take a synthetic brush. Oh, synthetic brush, because it's easier to clean. And oh, now you can see the consistency. It's hiding underneath here. There we go. Maybe I moved it over a little bit. See, it's kind of runny. I don't know. It's like glue. I would say that like Elmer's glue would be the, oh, well, Daphne, turn your brush over. Let me get a paper towel. I talk to myself, answer myself. Sometimes that's the only way you get intelligent conversation. So I'm just going to put this over. I'm not going to worry about it touching that green because the armadillo oil is very forgiving. So after you dry it, and I use a heat tool, it goes a little faster than the blow dryer. You could let it dry overnight. That takes too long. But I'm teaching a seminar. Honestly, we do this the last hour of the class. The vinyl designs can take it takes the longest to place them, but putting this on, and I will take a sponge, a cosmetic sponge. I'm not going to do this whole thing for the video because you don't need me to do, but I put enough on there. I tore the edge of a cosmetic sponge. If you have a sea sponge, that works as well, but I like a little bit of texture. And again, I'm not going to worry about that. I can wipe that off. I can scratch it after it dries. It's super forgiving. You could go directly from sponging it like this, but I brush it on first because I tend to waste a little bit of the stuff if I don't brush it on first. It uses a little bit less product, and you already got it put on kind of like you want. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'll continue this in another video. Um, I hope I can figure out how to merge these two together. I do have a nephew, but he's fixing to start school. He could so easily put these two together. I hope it looks like I'm actually recording. So the plan is to dry this, pull the vinyl designs off, and that is going to be the resisted area. In case I can't merge these two together, I am going to show you what the goal is for the finished edge. Give me about 2 seconds. So I will do another video, and again, I'm going to try to link those two together. After this is fired, guess what? It looks something like this. Wherever the vinyl is, that is the resisted area. Now, again, this is what I'm going to be teaching next week for iPad. This is after the white's fired in. I also went back on another fire and added the enamel dots. I could do that right now, but here's still, if you make a mistake, say like the vinyl little dots and everything don't come out the right size, it tends to mess it up. It's just easier to do in another fire. So that's an option. I have done other borders with just the base for gold, non-ping, which is this. But this has, I don't know if it'll pick up, a mother of pearl over it. So on some of your open spaces here, you're going to see more of the mother pearl. This one did not have too much color change. Your rainbow opal luster, and if you fire it with ruby colors or blue, they tend to, the gases, something happens in the kiln that affects it, and you get a little bit more color in your mother pearl. But I'm very happy with the sheen. It's when it does hit the light, you can see a little bit of pink and blue and yellow in there. But if you didn't do anything else but have the texture, you're great. And that's what I'm going for here. I will go back and put a luster. I have tried darker lusters and I really don't care for them. I haven't got one that worked. There's some pearl lusters like green pearl, yellow pearl. Those work great, but the darker ones over that texture, they don't do it. Liquid bright, palladium, beautiful, beautiful. I'll continue another video and show you some other samples of how to use this. But I think this is long enough and enough of a lesson if you wanted to paint along. I think I went slow enough. If you have all the supplies, you can play it over if it's recorded. So I'll see you next time. I am continuing this video, started yesterday. I put all the base for gold. I have a heat stamp tool. This seems to work better for me. It gets a little hotter, and I am just going to finish drying. It actually dried overnight, but when I take off the vinyl designs, it works better if the vinyl is a little bit warm, and it removes real easy. I won't take all of these off. Uh, I love this feature on here. I hope I'm actually going to be able to save this video. It saves some editing, but I'm just going to heat that up a little bit and you can kind of see how I remove the vinyl. And I'll probably pause the video again. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me do all that. You'll get the idea. When I take the vinyl off, I try not to get right on the edge because I don't want to bump this texture. So I come in, oh, this is wet, so I do have to be careful and remind myself of that. If the vinyl is a little bit warm, it removes. So there's your resist. And this vinyl is usually really easy to remove. If I would have dried it immediately yesterday, it would have been easier, but it's really easy. Again, if I don't want to catch that edge, I try to catch it, I just damage it. You could get like a dental pick and hook into that area, but if I have another pair of tweezers that's even better than these, but the pointed tweezers work. If you have an old pinpoint, you can stick that in there. Again, not for your good pen work. If you get one that's really being um, stubborn. But that's it. I'm going to pause it and go ahead and remove all this, and then I'll show you if I have some little areas that might have gotten underneath. All I have to do is take an orange wood stick. I find that works better. Or a pinpoint that you're not going to use for pen work, just the calligraphy pen that we sign our names with. That works really well as also. Okay, trying to keep this as short as possible, but still give you all the information. So let me put this on pause. See you in a minute. I timed it actually, about 12 minutes to take all the vinyl resist off. I have a few little spots that I want to touch up, especially around this banding. Um, and I'm this the I find that the orange wood stick does the best. You can use a toothpick, but that kind of cramps your fingers if you're going to do a lot of this, especially if you're going to do just the scratch technique. You could put a toothpick in the holder, the pinpoint holder. Skewer works, but it gets dull real fast. These, I get them at Sally's. They're just it's kind with a point on them. Sometimes you can only find the one, the cuticle pusher, but it's the one with the point on it. So I'm not gonna let y'all make y'all sit here and watch every little detail here, but you can just clean up your designs. I usually have like a watercolor brush or something that doesn't have oil in it. So if you have like a little, a little mop brush, you can just brush it away. When I do a seminar, we are crunched for time. So we usually have to do this in the second day after we put the second firing on. I do want to mention that for some reason, some of the base for goals I've had, when you take them out, they flake a lot. So if you have the time to do this on a separate firing, totally recommend it. But sometimes we're in a time crunch and we can't do that, because if any of that white flakes into that, or you smear, if you're not a neat painter, but sometimes I'm messy as well, and you can get that in there, there's no way to correct it. So I felt pretty confident that I wasn't going to get any of these flakes in there or smear because I had a barrier between it. But again, when we're in seminars, we are crunched for time. Those of you who do not, you can try drying mediums. I had the armadillo oil developed, family chemist, worked for 3 months. I tried every drying medium, grounding oil. There is one that you can use if you're overseas. It's the water-based held, but it is so much harder to get the vinyl designs off, and scratching is not as easy. It comes off. Look at this. This is just so easy. And then it flakes off. I'm not saying my medium is the only one that works. Tried a water base, other water base. Oh, look, you name it. I have tried any kind of dry medium, Capaba and lavender. Yeah, it works, but it just glues those vinyl designs down to where, and then when you go to scratch, if you're really pushing hard, you might bump an area and you don't get a clean design. So this has been my best. It was developed for this. Then I found that the armadillo oil had other uses. Uh, One of my co-painters, Stella, said it worked beautiful for glass enameling, and she was able to do the pen work with the armadillo oil, dry it, and then do the glass enameling all at the same time. I have tried it for pen work and sometimes it works. It works. You could use armadillo oil for pen work and but it dries fast. We're hot here, humid. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I prefer lavender oil. If you want a one-stop shopping thing, it does work. And I have used it for pen work, but I use it for so many other things. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video because you get the idea of how easily this cleans up versus other drying medium. I mean, this is just powdering off, pretty precise. I could have done, again, this whole design, mixed base for gold, non-ping with it, either or. Non-ping tends to dry transparent, and I want a little bit of opacity to it. It's just my preference. You can, again, do any kind of dry paint. I'll do another demo with dry paint. I actually have one on my Facebook page with that. And you can see, and I'm just kind of brushing it off. I have some leftover. Oops, well, look what I just did. Oh, I'm glad that happened. Here we go. I'm just going to sponge that on, dry it. Well, that's a happy accident. See how easy that corrects? I'm just going to sponge that on and dry it. It'll be fine. I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm in tight quarters here because I'm trying to give y'all the best focused. But that's a good little accident. If you bump, there's another little bump. I can go back in and touch that up. Not really worried about that. The white is very forgiving because I'm going to go back over it with mother of pearl and it's tone on tone. I could bring it out after I fire everything, and I have other projects that I've done pen worked the outline, and I may just go ahead and pause and show y'all a few examples. I'm trying to not make this video too long. Again, if I'm successful in saving the recording, you can fast forward to the part you need or turn it off when you have enough information. Okay, let's pause it again. Okay, I couldn't resist. A little cheesy, but it's to me, this banding effect looks like a record player. And that song came to my mind. So I thought it would be kind of entertaining. So with that being said, and the cheesy part, I need some comic relief every once in a while. Everything's done. It's ready to be fired. Because I have the edge with the texture, I am going to fire it flat with a little bit of a lift for some air to get, because it is quite a heavy piece. I don't know if I could, no, I'm not going to touch this because it's wet. But I wanted to show y'all some options at the beginning of the video if I am successful in this continuation with the orchid plate, with the enamel dots. That's another step that could be done. It could be just pretty like that with the non-paying and gold base for gold. But if you really, really want an elegant finish, this is a piece I did. I designed some poinsettias, and well, this is hand painted obviously, but this is with my vinyl designs, and I started it out like this, fired it, then I went back over it with palladium. You could go over it with liquid bright gold as well. I did have striping tape here with a band, and it's just really a nice finish. I'm going to show y'all another option. I'm feeling like this should be mother of pearl because I just wanted mother of pearl. I took my armadillo oil with this one, and gold is a little bit expensive. So what I did was mix some, I think it was ultra gold, Could have been just a metallic gold. I'm not sure. Again, I started with the vinyl designs, fired it. It was white. Then I mixed some armadillo oil with metallic and went back over that, sponged it, cleaned up my area, fired it again. On another fire, I went back and did pin work and I shaded. It's really hard to see. This is, I think I used like a sultan or a black green. This is violet and ruby. You can use any color you want. Those colors really seem to make it pop. So that's another finish. You just have so many options with the texture. And it just is, I don't, again, I mentioned earlier, I don't like the dark lusters. They don't do well. But if you have mother of pearl, halo, I think it's an opal luster, Hanovia opal. I don't want to name any brands. There's some really nice lusters out there. In fact, I think Nancy Bergman's don't have lead in them, and you're available in the United States. I'm giving you a little plug there, Nancy. And she did a wonderful video on lusters. Again, you can go back with palladium, liquid bright gold, anything. The darker lusters do not work. You could do copper. Copper is gorgeous. And I know I have a sample of that, but that's another video. And I think this is enough for today until it gets fired. So see you on the other side, I hope.